Well, I rafted up to another boat there, Cinderella, in the anchorage at Niue. Yeah, that was a good idea. Until the swell came in this afternoon, late this afternoon. I haven't even checked in yet to the country. Couldn't get customs to come and check me in. Swell came up and we were in danger of banging together and causing some damage, so I, in consultation with the crew of Cinderella, cut loose, and now I'm back up to the north side of the island where I hove to last night. Wind's howling. I'm going to try to stay up here and just, I'm on so little sleep. I was up at 1 a.m. last night after heaving 2 to get back down to that anchorage in the morning, and then now it's about 11 o'clock the next night, and I haven't slept yet. And so what I'm going to do, my plan now is to get up here to the north side of the island, heave 2 again going north. I'll just do a couple hours because I don't want to get too far from the island because the fetch builds up so fast, and then I have to pound back into it to come back to the island. So I think I'm going to try to heave 2 for just 2 hours, get that, only puts me 3 miles off the island, and then motor slowly back. Maybe I could sleep a couple hours heaving 2 and then a couple hours motoring back, and do that 2 times, and that'll give me, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours of sleep. I can hear the wind. It's hard to think, you know, when you get when you're on little sleep, and so it's hard for me to make good decisions. So just trying to be safe, though. So that's the plan for now. We'll see what happens. Well, after drifting off the north side of the island all night last night, trying to get some sleep, I managed to get a couple, 3 or 4 hours cat naps in the lee there of the island. But there's nothing. I don't have any options now. I can't. There's no mooring balls available, and there's no anchorage. So unless I plan on just drifting off the north side of that island for tonight and tomorrow night. And I don't have any choice but to go, so I'm heading west. It's blowing pretty good today. They say 18, maybe 20. Seems it's there now, but so this is what I'm in for. But this is all I can do, so I'm going. And the boat can handle it. You know, it's just my nerves and wits to keep this thing going and be safe. So I'm gonna keep sails, shorten sails. I'm just under about 3/4 of a jib right now, Genoa, and then still going over 5 knots. So I'm just gonna stay here for a while and try to adapt, and then see how it goes through the day. It is what it is, you know. It's a bummer, but it is what it is. Turned out okay after all that. It's It's boisterous for sure, and it's probably 20 knots, 18 to 20 knots. And we roll over on our beams end sometimes, but it's good sailing. I mean, we're making good time, and you know, just accept it. It's not. It's sailing. You know, you wish it could be 12 knots on flat sea, but fortunately it never is, or rarely is. So, you know, it should only be a 2-day passage if, you know, especially at this pace, but we'll see. I'm just going to ride it out, man. It's supposed to get worse in the middle of the night tonight, so we'll see what that means. Not really bad, just a little bit worse, so. But. Well, the seas are still big. It's my 3rd day out of Niue to Tonga. Seas are still big. The winds come down a little bit, and the problem with that is, of course, then the sails don't stay full when we roll in these waves. The wind's still got to be over 10, 12, 13 knots, but not enough. And another problem is, of course, the target, the destination of the next waypoint is dead downwind, and that's just a problem, you know. I have to go on a broad reach and then jibe and go on another broad reach, and shit, it just adds miles, you know. The goal is to be there tomorrow. High tide is at 2 or 3 p.m. and they say to go to the dock, the customs dock. It's a concrete dock, and you want to be there at high tide. So I was hoping to get there tomorrow afternoon. I mean, that puts me at this next waypoint tomorrow morning, so I come around the backside of the island and up through the, up in between the islands up to the customs dock. And I don't think that when we were going right at the destination, we would have made it. We were on target to make it even early tomorrow. But if I got a zigzag to get there, whew, it's going to be tough to get there. There's where I slept last night. I had to build a little cocoon of pillows and leave the settee cushion down and wedge myself in there because of this blasted roll. We're settling downwind and there's just not enough wind to keep the sails full. You can hear the sails banging behind me. Dead downwind, I don't have a plan for that. I can't. I mean, with light wind, fairly light wind, I could have broad reached, but I'm adding so many miles by doing that. You know, I have to turn off like 40 degrees, 20. I don't know how to say it. 20 degrees off course or 30 degrees off course just to get the sails to fill. Look at this. I'd been on a port tack so long that all the, everything had settled on that side of the boat, and then when I started to roll like this, everything that wasn't secured, I thought was secured, came loose. Drawers came out and spilled their contents all over the floor. Dishes came out and fell on the floor. All the things on the chart table fell down. And then between that and the noises of the sails banging, man, it was impossible to sleep. Just impossible. And I ended up starting the motor, furling the sails, starting the motor at 5 a.m. and motoring for an hour and a half so I could sleep. Well, I slept for an hour and a half. I motored for about 2 hours. Motor kills all that noise, and you can see how I wedged myself in there in that on that settee and slept for an hour and a half. Luckily, I had probably only had an hour before that, 30 miles now from the end of the island, 28 miles, and then but another 19 to the anchorage, and it's 8 a.m. It's the story of my life. I'm going to end up spending another night out because I get there just at dusk. Last two ports, the last three stops actually, Tahiti too, Tahiti, Palmerston, Niue. I arrived at all three of those about an hour after dusk. End up heaving to or just putting along outside the island or outside the anchorage until morning. It's just brutal. As I sit here and bitch, look at how nice it is. I'm sailing in the South Pacific. The trials of solo sailing. It's harsh, man, harsh. Well, that is Vava'u, Tonga. Still about 8 miles away, and we're going to go around the backside tonight and heave to for sleep, as often happens for me, and then go in first thing in the morning. It's been a long passage. I don't know why this seems so difficult. I did have some rough weather, and I didn't get really any relief, any place to spend it. Time resting other than Palmerston a couple days. So from Tahiti to here, it's been, gosh, I think it'll be 3 weeks tomorrow, minus 3 days in Palmerston, 2 days in Niue, which I couldn't even get a mooring or an anchor. So it's been tough, man. It's been tough, but we're here. If I can just get. As per usual, I got to get checked in and I got to get the anchor down somewhere. And what I understand is this harbor is full. Everybody's getting ready to make the crossing to New Zealand, and then there's some big sail festival this weekend. So all the cruisers in this hemisphere are here or something. So I don't know what's going to happen. All right, I'm hove to, right off the north end of Vava'u, Tonga. With my Q flag flying. Saw a cruise ship pass me, the Paul Gauguin cruise ship. That's some sign of civilization right there. I don't see any more. So I'm going to hang out here until I have to do a little math here on the time, and the opening to the bay is not too far ahead of me there, a couple miles, 3 or 4 miles ahead of me. So, and then it's like, I don't know, 10 miles or more into the wind your way up into the inner harbor there. So, so here we go. I'll try to get a little bit of sleep tonight. That's something I've been lacking the last 4 or 5 days. And then get in there in the morning, I guess. Dawn over Tonga. I drifted westward during the night, hove to about 10-12 miles, and so I'm motoring back towards the pass here about 6 a.m. I believe. I managed to get some sleep, about 6 hours of sleep, so I feel pretty good about that. So even get checked in here this morning to Tonga. A little bit of a challenge. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm solo on this boat. I've got to go tie up to a concrete dock, and with the tide change, there's it's not a floating dock, so I'm a little nervous about it. I haven't docked this boat before. I mean, shouldn't be anything to it, but it should be better than Moana. It's got a fin keel, spade rudder. But famous last words, man. We'll see.
Calling for Tracy on the net, over.